Yo, what's up? This your boy Z-Blendz, and this is the Behind the Chair podcast. And today I'm with your boy DJ Cutit from
Lawton, Oklahoma.
Hey man, he came a long way just to see your boy. Nah, I'm just playing. We up here at what's his brand? What you got? Trill, the lady barber. She put on this amazing show. I just got a couple questions for my boy DJ. My first question is, what inspired you to open up a barbershop? And what problem were you having to solve in your community?
What inspired me to open up a barbershop was actually I was at the same shop for 14 years. Okay. And what inspired me to go ahead and get into ownership was I had a child. And I got a wife. And so when you have a wife and had 2 kids, she had a child. So I went from being just a barber that was kind of being young and living carefree to having the responsibility of a family. And I knew that it had to grow beyond just me being behind the chair. As far as getting involved in my community, the real turn was the Trayvon Martin situation, because I had already been a barber for about 10 years then, but right in that pocket of time, it was a lot of my clients coming in like really dealing with it in a rough way. Like, how do you explain it to your son? Like, dealing with not having, I had 2 clients in particular that were in interracial relationships and had never discussed race with a partner. And so the Trayvon Martin situation had kind of revealed that their partner had a lot of anti-black thoughts, and it was just a lot going on in the community. And for me, I felt like, as somebody that takes a black dollar every day, you know what I'm saying? Like 90% of my clientele is black. Y'all coming in and y'all giving me y'all worries and y'all stressing, y'all paying me. I want to be able to do something. So that's when I started holding like community meetings. At the time, our police chief was black. And so he was down with the play. So I would have meetings with the police for law enforcement about, like, you know, just how to interact with them. I think I had a mental health professional come through, and it just kind of snowballed into a thing where I realized that really is our job as especially black barbers to be in the epicenter of the community, because when you don't know where to go and you don't really know who to find, your barber should be able to tell you where to even go get your lawn mowed or even go to get therapy. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like stepping more into that role was good for me, especially as I'm getting older. It's less about the hype or the fade and more about what actual value do you have your community. Like Bones said when we was on the panel, if you can't cut hair tomorrow, are you still valued?
See, I'm kind of in the same boat. You know, I just had my first child.
Right.
All right. So I feel like, you know, I'm where you was a couple years ago, 20 years ago, right? I'm like, man, I got to do something more than just cut hair. I have to create some type of legacy to pass down if she want, you know, to become a barber or a stylist, just something to be able to pass down to her. And then I noticed you said something about, you know, the Trayvon Martin situation and being that outlet to not only just, you know, the black folks that come into your barbershop, but those who are uncertain, you know, on how those situations affect not only just black folks, but the community in general.
Right.
And you said you came from what side of Oklahoma?
It's from Lawton, Oklahoma. So I'm about an hour and a half south of Oklahoma City, like 30 minutes from the Texas border.
Yeah, so I kind of did a little, I went to Langston. So
okay,
I was
almost like 2 hours away. It's like right outside the city.
Yeah. So I was right there in the birds with you. So I kind of see, like, you know, the community that you came from,
right,
and the community that I spent time in, on how that situation kind of affected.
Right.
But we're not gonna get too political, because there's a lot of stuff in America that we can kind of, you know, bridge upon.
One product, 1 minute, huge difference. If you're dealing with thinning spots, don't stress. Watch this. A few taps of hair roll, hair density filler powder, blend it in, and instantly your hair looks fuller and more natural. Ready to level up your look? Grab yours today and use my code ZERIOUSSHARP to save 10% off.
My next question, what separates your shop from every other barbershop in the city? And how do you create an experience that keeps your clients coming back?
What separates my shop from most shops in my city is the high level of professionalism. So when me and Trey first started, we really literally just looked at what everybody was doing that we thought was wrong and just didn't do that. And everybody that we brought on after that we just built a culture like, hey, this is how we do things. We got to be the top shop in our city because we do A, B, and C. So don't come here and do D, E, and F. Do A, B, and C. Because if you come here and you're doing something other than what we did to get to the top, now you're working against us. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's 15 of us in there. So if you're barber number 16 and you doing all this extra out of left field, the way we built the culture, the other 15 barbers are going to be pulling on you like, hey, bro, what you doing? Like, why you keep running late on your appointments? Hey, bro, don't come here smelling like weed. My clients don't want to feel that. You know, those type of things. So once you take the time to build a culture and take your time building that culture, making sure you hiring the right people, it ends up working out better in the long run. When we first did our remodel and got to 20 chairs, we went up to 18 barbers in like 60 days or something. But it was complete chaos because everybody just came in and was doing whatever they wanted to do. We had to scale back down and be like, hey, this is how we built this. If you don't want to be on board with how we built this, then this ain't the place for you. And that's usually my message to boothering owners is like, I know right now it feels like the IRS guidelines got you feeling like you ain't got no control. But the bottom line is you have to remember the IRS can't make you give this guy no booth. You know what I'm saying? So if he looks like trouble, if you're asking the right questions prior to hiring him, don't give him a booth. If he's saying shit like, oh, well, you can't tell me what to do, that's not who you want on your team, bro. Not that you want people that you can tell what to do, but you want people that's down with the move that we putting together to get to the top. If 6 of us gonna go out here and go to the local high school football game and pass out cards, and you barber number 7, you like, I ain't doing that. But after a while, we ain't gonna like that because 6 of us are giving it effort, and now you just riding the coattail of our effort, and it starts to feel like you freeloading. It ain't gonna work.
And I do think, you know, just being able to work together as a whole barbershop is very important.
Absolutely.
You know, that kind of shows the culture of the barbershop, that not only we are one of the top barbers in the city, but we the top barbershop in the city.
Absolutely.
We are able to do more than just cut hair, but we are more able to provide some type of atmosphere, some type of culture, some type of, you know, different vibe, different experience. But yeah, I like that right there. I'm gonna have to use that. And then my last question, if a barber is watching this interview, dreams of owning a shop one day, what is one of the pieces of advice you believe could change the trajectory of their career?
Never open up a shop that you cannot handle the bills on your own. That way you don't have nobody tied to the flow, and if people want to leave, they can leave. Because with the new landscape of barbering, you understand basically as a booth and owner, you're just like an incubator for businesses. Like if you was to come to the town and work in our shop, I wouldn't be like, oh, you can't have Z-Blendz no more. Like that's your brand. And I need to be able to have enough space to let you grow your brand, also within the house rules, but enough for you to grow your brand so that you can win. And at some point, you're going to leave. I can't be mad that you're going to leave. I'm the one that helps you understand how to build a brand, how to do this, so that when you leave, because I don't think you're going to work with me forever, that you are successful. Because somewhere you're going to go, they're going to be like, where'd you come from? Who'd you work with? Oh, you know so-and-so? And now you're also a reflection of me. Because when you be like, oh, yeah, I stayed there 6 years, they're going to expect a certain level of things. But if you like, oh, man, we was there like a week, I ain't really fuck with them like that, they already know, like, okay, this guy might not be as professional as I'm looking for.
He don't have no structure.
He don't have no structure. He don't even want no structure. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this in closing. Barbering is a lot like rap. Most rappers ain't got no hit with no freestyle. There's a few, there's an occasional hit that's a freestyle, but most times when you have a hit, you wrote it. You had collaboration. You had a hook. You structured it this way. There's a formula to what you're doing. There's a structure to what you're doing. You didn't just wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to start cutting hair, and then all of a sudden we got rich. You know what I'm saying? You woke up, you learned how to cut hair. Then you learned about customer service. Then you got to the point to where maybe you want to open a shop. Now you're trying to figure out, now you passed being a barber, you're trying to figure out how to be HR. You're hiring the right guys, firing the right guys, building the right culture. So each step has its own challenge. Just take your time in building it. Understand that in the beginning, yes, all it is building clientele enough to where you can share. But at a certain point, you're going to have to be able to step away from the chair a little bit to actually scale the business. Because if you have 15 barbers, I can't generate enough clients just being by myself for 15 barbers. At some point, I got to train them on how to generate their own clients. So now we getting walk-ins, you got a clientele, and I got a clientele. So everybody got their clientele. extra walk-ins is extra. The new barbers get to take more walk-ins. That's how I got such a big team. So like with the numbers game, my son about to graduate from high school, from barber school next week. So he'll be, appreciate that, man. I'm so proud too. Shout out to Keon.
Next one up.
Next one up. So he'll be barber 16, right? Okay. We just hired 2 more barbers. So let's call them barbers 14 and 15. The first 13 barbers are about 60-70% booked. So when walk-ins come in, yes, they can get serviced, but the new guys getting all these walk-ins, and they're like, dang. So now they building their traffic. So once they get to a certain level of book, we can hire barbers number 17, 18, 19, because all that walk-in traffic will be there for them, and it'll be easier than for build clientele. So if you just keep that simple thing in mind, it's really a 1, 2, 3 repeat, 1, 2, 3 repeat, 1, 2, 3 repeat. You should be good.
It's medicine if you take it.
It's medicine if you take it.
Man, one thing I noticed, just with the industry, like what you just piggyback off of what you said, it's more than barbering than just cutting hair. It's levels to this. Like if you want to be able to make millions of dollars, you have to be able to take those certain levels to get to that tier of being a million dollar barber, and that's more than just cutting hair.
Absolutely.
Totally more than cutting hair. But thank you for your time, DJ.
Anytime, bro. I'm glad to see you, bro.
Appreciate you.
See you moving up. Congratulations on the baby.
Hey man.
Fatherhood is the best hood. Ass bones the goat, baby.
Yeah.
I cried twice at barber shows because we talking about dad shit.
Yeah. Hey, this is Beyond the Chair podcast. It's your boy Z-Blendz. We signing out.
I got him and ran off.
Hey, you good? You good? We signing out. Anyway, we signing out.